People from different walks of life come to Shark Tank to pitch their business ideas. It's the job of these investors to decide which of the pitches are worth backing, or which of them simply don't have enough potential to succeed. Well, they usually do a pretty good job, but there are times when they thought it was going to be a good investment and it ended up being a terrible one. Things have just failed to go as planned for any of these investments, and they led to huge losses. Hello and welcome back to Splash. Today we are going to be talking about 5 failed deals on Shark Tank. But before we get on to that, go ahead and like and subscribe if you haven't already. It helps us out a lot. Also, make sure that you keep watching to number 1 to find out how they lost and why. Your mind will be blown. So without further ado, let's get on to the video. Number 5. Cool Wraps. In Season 4, Jeffrey Miller ended up selling his whole company to Mark Cuban when he pitched his idea of Cool Wraps to the Shark Tank. It was a shrink-wrap gift bag that allows people easily wrapping a gift without the usual stress of tape or scissors. Impressive, right? Miller was looking for $100,000 for 40% of his business. He used to have 5 partners before 4 of them went out, leaving him with complete ownership. The Sharks were concerned that the product had been around already for 10 years without any breakthrough. Lori thought the product was full of potential and was a good TV product, but stated that it would need a lot of work for guaranteed success. She decided to offer $150,000 for the whole company to take it to the next level. Mark Cuban then stepped in and offered Miller a better deal, $250,000 for the whole business and a 3% royalty.
I'll give you $250,000 for the whole company and a 3% royalty, but it's yes or no right now.
Whoa. Aggressive.
After a brief moment of thinking about the deal, the inventor eventually accepted the offer and was all smiles. Unfortunately, not much progress was made after this episode on the show, with the company's social media account last posting in, May of 2015. It seems the company still isn't getting better despite Mark's best effort. It seems like Mark basically gave out $250,000 for a case of charity. Number 4. ToyGaroo. In the next position, we have Nicki Pope from the second season. In the second episode of this season, Nicki came to the Sharks to pitch her idea of a company that would work like Netflix for toys.
Nicki, walk us through your business model. How do you make money?
All of our members obviously pay a monthly membership fee. We have plans that start at $35 a month and they go all the way up to $89 a month.
She appeared on Shark Tank in 2011 to make their pitch to the Sharks. It was an idea that was previously ignored and had been well thought out, so there's no blaming the Sharks for falling victim on this one. It was an online rental service that allowed parents to rent toys for kids on a monthly basis. The premise of the business was unique, and they did a great job of explaining that the company that both rented and sold toys gave parents an option for saving money. Since kids get sick of toys quickly, this gives them the chance to try them out on a rental basis, buying them later if it all worked out. This would put an end to all of those piles of wasted and spoiled toys. Mark Cuban and Kevin O'Leary were takers on this deal and invested $200,000 into the company. Apparently they believed that the deal was worth it and it would work out fine. Such an ingenious idea, right? However, things didn't turn out as planned. Within a year, ToyGaroo stopped taking orders, suspended their social media, and then filed for bankruptcy. It was finally closed after a series of arguments between the owners. Number 3. Back 9 Barbecue. Surely you've heard the saying, when one door closes, another one opens. So when David Maley lost his job due to tough economy rather than regress, he decided to take the opportunity to transform his passion for cooking into a well-paying career. He and his wife Dominique started a barbecue company called Back 9 Barbecue, and when the positive reviews about their chicken dips kept coming in, they took the decision to pitch their idea to the investors on the show.
When was the first time you stuck a chicken in a blender?
Hey, I married him for this dip, so he's truly crying.
It was their intention to produce it in masses and make them available in supermarkets and stores. After an informative pitch, it was clear that the couple were looking to get a deal of $150,000 for 15% equity in their business. This would allow the couple mass-produce the chicken dips and sell them in supermarkets. However, the Sharks were skeptical about the blended chicken used in making the dips. In fact, only Lori admittedly enjoyed the chicken dips, but even she still didn't want to invest.
Well, I think sometimes in life you just need a chance. I'm happy to go in with you, Lori.
After some hesitancy and change of decisions, Lori and Robert invested $75,000 each in exchange for 25% of the business, a total of $150,000. Soon after the episode, sales of Back 9 Barbecue picked up and it was sold in many supermarkets. But after a year, all of their products were called back for an off-label use of anchovies. The business has failed to recover ever since. Number 2. Hillbilly. Mark Cuban and Damon John have called out many gold diggers on the show, entrepreneurs who came onto the show for exposure rather than an investment opportunity. Unfortunately, they didn't see it coming with Mark and Sean, who appeared on Shark Tank. They presented their clothing line Hillbilly. The owners of the company went on Shark Tank asking for an investment of $50,000 into their company in exchange for a 25% stake. They had some discussions with the Sharks, and Robert Herjavec, Jeff Foxworthy, and Damon John all showed interest in doing business with the brothers.
$75,000. We get the name. You get a 7% royalty.
All right, let's go. Deal. All right.
They were able to reach a conclusion. Things went downhill after the show, though. Both parties, entrepreneurs and investors, were unable to reach a conclusion, and things dragged on for far too long. After a long stretch of negotiations, the deal fell through. The owners admitted that they were not really there to strike a deal with any of the Sharks. They didn't want their money, they just wanted to appear on national television to plug their new business. This was one of the worst Shark Tank deals in history, because although nothing illegal took place, it was a fraudulent representation in nature. And since their business is still in operation, we can say they actually benefited from this deal, while the Sharks, well, they didn't. Number 1. Breathometer.
Breathometer, the world's first smartphone breathalyzer. Simply plug it into the smartphone. Within a matter of seconds, you'll be able to know what your breath alcohol level is.
One of the worst deals in the Shark Tank history has gotta be the breathometer. This invention was a device that acted as a portable breathalyzer, and it could be plugged into the audio jack of a smartphone. It would give a reading of blood alcohol levels along with feedback to let the user know if they could legally operate a motor vehicle or if they should find a ride. Now, while this sounded like a good idea, and all 5 Sharks came together to invest $1 million for 30% of the company, it ended up being a total bust. The company managed to make $30 million in sales, but the problems came soon after. When the investment was made, the company ran into a plethora of problems. For starters, the company had issues fulfilling their orders. On top of this, the breathometer was tested and found to be a lot less accurate than the company had guaranteed it for. On some occasions, it was reported that the blood alcohol level is far below what it actually was, suggesting that people could drive when in reality, they had no business behind the wheel. The Federal Trade Commission got involved into the investigation and then ordered the breathometer to make full refunds to all of its customers. Well, everyone, I hope you enjoyed this. While you are here, go ahead and click the links above to check out some of our other awesome videos.